On the 24th of March 1980, Archbishop Oscar Romero was assassinated in El Salvador's Metropolitan Cathedral. Romero had become a thorn in the side of the government, regularly speaking out on behalf of the poor and oppressed. He'd made many enemies. The day before his death, he delivered a powerful sermon demanding that the death squads stop murdering their fellow countrymen. The next day, as he celebrated Mass in the hospital chapel, a sniper opened fire and delivered a bullet straight to his heart. Immediately, Romero became a martyr. The meagre possessions of Romero's life are held and looked after by the sisters of the hospital chapel. Jan is one of the experts who cares for these items. One day, she was checking Romero's black woolen trousers for signs of mould, but then she found something quite different. She says, they were covered with a white speckled deposit formed into circular pools, which I thought was some kind of mildew, but it didn't look like anything that I'd ever seen before. I magnified them and realised that these were salt crystals, the residue of a sudden and profuse sweat. Eyewitnesses at his last Mass said that Romero suddenly flinched, having seen the gunman at the door of the church. It appears that his body reacted and sweated heavily. One cannot help but think of the Garden of Gethsemane. Mark 14 has Jesus as distressed and agitated, but Luke 22 describes his fear as such that his sweat became like great drops of blood falling to the ground. Sweating blood is known as hematidrosis. It's caused by acute physical or emotional stress, which can be so severe that it ruptures the blood vessels that supply the sweat glands. Fear has powerful effects on the body. When faced with a violent threat to life, the body goes into overdrive. A tiny gland in the brain pumps out a hormone, epinephrine, to instigate a chain reaction of responses. The heart pumps blood, lungs take in more oxygen, pupils dilate, and sweat covers the skin. It is all part of the fight or flight response. But that decision to stay or go can never be a purely physical one. It is ultimately one that is rooted in a deeper moral identity. And that is why Jesus stayed in the garden and said to his Father, "Yet not what I want, but what you want." And it is why Archbishop Romero continued to say Mass, even as he saw the sniper take aim at his heart.